Hello everyone, this is Dawn. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to another Inspiration Collaboration Design Team Challenge. This month, the team is featuring Christmas in July, and this is a new collection. It's called A Stitched Season, and it's part of the July online exclusives release. So this has lots of fun quilted images along with some basics like this, the snow paper, and then we've got some star pattern and a floral on the flip side, another version of the star pattern, and then a Christmas tree pattern and some candy canes and some birds, and they're all quilted patterns. They look like fabric. And then there's a nice plaid, and then a compilation of all the different designs on one. So lots of quilt themes, and there is a stamp and die set as well that coordinates with this, and some other coordinating accessories. So I'm just going to use the DSP. And now I am introducing a new tool from Stampin' Up. It's not new to the scrapbooking and card making world, but it is to Stampin' Up, and it's a hot foil machine. So for this layout, I'm going to use a few sets. This one is the Luxe Alphabet and Numbers, and this set will foil the whole alphabet in one pass, and then it also has coordinating dies. Also, in a single pass, you'll get the whole alphabet and all the numbers. And then this is Classic Greetings, and it's got some basic greetings, great for card fronts, and I'm going to use one on my layout that says Celebrate, and it also has a coordinating die. And then this one is called Echoes of Detail, and I'm going to use this brick pattern. Usually when I buy foiling die sets, I like to get images that have coordinating dies. It just makes it easier because you are foiling a little bit blind, and I'll explain that when we get to actually foiling. Okay, so I'm going to start cutting my paper. I'm going to do 2 border strips along the side with that brick pattern. So I've cut 2 4-inch strips of cherry cobbler. Now let me get my machine plugged in. It has a magnetic plug. It goes in and out really easily. So just plug in your machine, and it takes about 6 minutes the first time. It will beep when it's ready. You'll see the flashing light, and then it will beep. And then the white light that's over on the right side, it'll flash, and that indicates that it's ready for you to place your die on the surface. And there are some guidelines there to keep your die straight, and also some measurements to help. And I just kind of put it smack dab in the middle there. It makes it easier for me. And then you just push that white flashing button that's on the right, okay? And it will continue heating. And when it's fully heated, it will beep again, and the green light will light up over on the left side. So while I'm waiting for my die to heat up, I cut my foil, and I have a mat here that's a self-healing mat, and then I have a rotary blade trimmer, and I'll put a link. I got it on Amazon. Using a rolling blade makes it a lot easier. This foil, it's super thin and very fragile, so I find this is the easiest method of cutting. So I eyeball it, and I try to get it as wide as the die. You don't want any over foiling, so the closest to the size of the image you're foiling is how you should cut your foil. It just makes things easier. So I'm gonna decide where I want my foiling image to be placed on my cardstock. Now I'm going to have everything upside down, so you're just kind of aiming. So that's what I mean about having a coordinating die. You don't have to worry so much when it's got a coordinating die, but this image, it's sort of, you know, an artsy the placement doesn't really matter. You want to keep the lines straight because they're bricks, but it's a little bit easier to work with because it's just a general image, and placement doesn't it have to be exactly precise. Okay, we have a green light and it beeped, so we're ready to build our sandwich. So make sure you place the pretty side of your foil down. Okay, so the gold goes down towards the die. And then you're going to place the side of the cardstock that you want to foil. So I'm using the dark side of cherry cobbler. So I'm placing that upside down. And then you place your green shim plate down, and then your clear plate. And that's your sandwich for foiling. Okay. And then you carefully unplug the machine. The plug comes out super easy. And you lift the whole unit up and carefully place it in your die cut machine. Now, this is a must for foiling. You need the Stampin' Up cut and emboss machine to use the hot foil machine. If you use any non-branded Stampin' Up, or if you use any non-branded products, it voids the 1-year warranty on your machine. So make sure that everything that you use with this hot foil machine for the first year is Stampin' Up branded, so that you keep that warranty active. So it's necessary to have this cut and emboss machine to roll everything through. Now, it looks like I'm going in slow motion here, and I am, and actually, believe it or not, I have sped this video up just a little bit, and so you will go excruciatingly slow. And I'm so impatient, but it's necessary to go super slow because you want the foil to bond with the cardstock. So go as slow as you possibly can and roll it through. And then just go once. Don't go forward and back, because if you do that, if your die shifts, then you'll have double foiling. So just one time through, very, very slow. And then pull the whole unit out and place it back on that silicone mat. Okay, so then you can take everything apart and flip everything over and then carefully peel that foil off and check out that image. It kind of impresses it into the cardstock and it just foils beautifully. And I find with this machine, you don't have a lot of shifting because unplugging it and putting it into your die cut machine, it's just so much easier. And if you've used another machine, unplugging it is the hardest part because your dies can shift. So I'm very pleased with this machine. Okay, next image, I'm doing the dark side of Secret C, and I'm going to do this alphabet. So I've already heated up my machine, and it's ready for my die. So I'll push that button over on the right, wait for my die to heat up, and I'll go ahead and cut a piece of foil. Again, I'm just eyeballing it. And I'll cut that. And I don't have to worry so much about overfoiling with dies that have, with hot foil dies that have coordinating dies, because you're cutting everything out. So any excess and areas around the foiling, that will be cut away and thrown away. So okay, so now we've got everything heated up, ready to go, built our sandwich, and we can go ahead and roll this through the machine. Fast forward, and we have our alphabet. So go ahead and peel this off. That's my favorite part, is the reveal. And then now I've got the Celebrate die. So then off camera, they have their coordinating dice, so I'll go ahead and cut those out off camera. Check that out. So pretty. Okay, now this is another new item, and it's also part of the July online exclusives, and it's called Pretty Poinsettia. And these dies are special too. So let me go ahead and I'm going to cut out all of the layers of the poinsettia flower using the light side of cherry cobbler. And this is just normal die cutting. I've got my cutting mat, and then I'll place my cardstock, and my dies are facing down, and I'm just going to cut out all those images. So after you roll it through, you want to keep all of the cut pieces, the cardstock, you want to keep everything saddled in the die. So you're going to flip the die over so the blade is facing up, and this one popped out, so I'm placing it back in the die. So you want everything to be flipped over and the cut cardstock still saddled inside your die. And this is an impressions plate. Okay, it's just a piece of silicone. And then we've got plate number 4. So you're going to keep plate 1, 2, and then you're going to take out your cutting plate. And I'm using a magic mat, it's the pink one, so I'm not going to use that. I'm just going to place all of my dies with the blade side up on that mat number 2. It's the skinny one. Add my impressions plate, add plate number 4, that's the specialty plate, and then roll everything through again. So I'm not cutting, but I am embossing, and check this out. The detail and dimension that you get with these dies is just beautiful. And so I'm just going to pop everything out, and then we can build our die later. So I'm going to do a whole bunch of die cutting and impression embossing with the flowers and also the leaves. Okay, so I have a whole bunch ready here, and I was using the two-tone white core cardstock, so some of it cracked and you can see the white, but I wanted to do this anyway. I'm going to ink all of my flowers. So I have cherry cobbler ink and a blending brush, and I'm just going to blend ink over this image, and it pulls out, the ink goes in the nooks and crannies and crevices, and it also covers up any of the parts that cracked where the white core is showing through. So that leaf that's down here on the left, part of that, you can see the white that was popping through, and just by adding ink, it fixes it, and it looks amazing. In real life, after you've inked up all these petals, it's just stunning. So I've done the same thing with the leaves, and now I'm ready to start building my flowers. So I have a bone folder here, and I'm just doing a slight bend on each of these petals. And it doesn't look like I'm doing much, but once you get your flower built, it just looks so pretty, so almost realistic. And just adding that little bend to give them a little more dimension just really makes a difference, and it helps, it makes it easier when you're building your flowers too, to have that little bit of dimension. Okay, so we'll build a flower, and then I'll do the rest of them off camera. So I'm just using some glue, putting a dot in the center, and trying to spin these leaves or petals around to kind of figure out which way I want them to go. They're realistic, and so petals are not perfect in nature, but they're beautiful. And yeah, just kind of spin them around, and ta-da. Okay, so in the center, these are cherry cobbler pearls, and I'm going to place some of the clear ones on the red, and then I've got some white flowers as well, and I'll put the red ones in the center of the white flowers. So we'll go ahead and add our little pearls, and ta-da! That just looks amazing. I can't wait to make a bunch of Christmas cards with that as well. Okay, let's start building our layout. And before I start gluing anything down, I'm just going to lay everything out. So these are my 2 border strips that I did multiple foiling passes with that brick image. And then I have this Christmas tree paper, and it's 8 inches across. And had I been thinking ahead when I cut it, I would have made it so that it was a continuous pattern between the 2 from left to right pages, but that's okay. It still works. It looks all right. And then, since I don't have any Christmas pictures to scrapbook yet, I've got some of these photo placement holders. So I'm just going to place those in the center so that I know where I intended to have my pictures for this layout. And then they can also be used as mats with my photos in the center. So this is I'm not sure if these are still available. I'll put a link in the description below if they are. They're called foiled frames and labels. And this is where I'm going to do my journaling. So that'll be my journaling block. And they come with like the double frames, and you can use the second skinny one for another thing. But I want it to have my frame extra thick and kind of make it look like it has a little more dimension. So that's why I added that second frame. I'm going to keep that in there. And these whole photo blocks, they are going to shift upwards towards the top right now. I'm just kind of building things so I can get a feel for the look of the layout. So I've got that plaid, and then I've added a strip of candy cane paper, and underneath my journaling block, I'm just going to add this piece of old olive to complete that block, and then I'll add that journal block on top. It's a little distracting with the red and then the pattern paper behind the journal block, so I just wanted something solid there. Okay, now we can start adding our flowers. Oh, first we need to add our title. Okay, so I've cut out all of these foiled letters, and I've spelled out Christmas Joy. And then we can add our flowers. And we've got some letters that are deciding to go all over the place here. So, okay, so we're going to add our petals and flowers all over the layout. And there's a lot going on with the bricks and with the pattern paper. I don't want any more as far as embellishment goes and other images, so I'm going to keep it limited to just the petals and the flowers and the leaves. I think we got enough going on. And once I get my pictures on there, it's going to work. So we'll just add some clusters all around and vary the colors of the flowers as well. And then we'll add that one. So off camera, I will get everything glued down, and I did adhere my flowers with foam tape so that they are popped up off the page so that I can slide my photos in underneath them. So it'll make it easy. Okay, so that's the general design, and then we'll add my die cut Celebrate at the top. And then to finish it off, I'm going to add some more of these iridescent clear dots all around. We'll scatter a whole bunch of those around. So make sure you check out the other Inspiration Collaboration Design Team videos. They've all gone live today, and you can see what they've done with some new Christmas supplies and for Christmas in July for our theme. Lots of great new products available. I'll put links in the description below. And everything became available starting July 1st, so you can do some shopping. And that hot foil machine, it is available now as of today. And there is it's while supplies last. It'll be a while before they replenish the stock. So they do anticipate a sellout of this first bunch that they have in stock. So if you're interested, I would purchase that as soon as possible. And I'll put a link in the description below. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button, and then you'll be able to find all of my videos. And thanks for watching.